Hey there, this is a help quiz for 2.5 domain and range. Let's look at number one. So yours may look slightly differently, but the idea is the same. Now, if the graph is too small, you can click on this magnifying glass. I'm going to do that right now. That makes the graph larger. And let's notice a few things about the graph. First, the y-axis, the vertical axis, is actually not the y-axis, it's the f-axis. And the x-axis is not the x-axis. The horizontal axis is here the k-axis on my quiz. So what we have here is that the graph is going from 16 to 10. It's going from 16 down to 10 on the f-axis, and it's going from 0 to 6 on the k-axis. So let's go over here. So what is the domain? What do we mean by domain? Well, domain is how far on the x-axis does a given function exist. So this only exists from here on the left to here on the right. So kind of put some boundaries onto it. So it goes from 0 to 6. So 0 to 6, it can only be one of these two, but 0 to 6 on the f-axis? No. 0 to 6 on the k-axis is correct. All right, let's try the next one. This one's the same thing, domain. So left side to right side. Left to right is your domain. So this is going from 1 to 8. So it's one of these two. Now this is on the p-axis in my case. And your letters may be different, your numbers may be different. Now, how about this one? Find the domain of this function and write in interval notation. So the domain here, let's go from the left side to the right side. And we'll notice that this one goes from -1 on the left to 2 on the right. Now we have to do a little bit more work here. We need to put some parentheses around this or brackets. Now let's be really clear what we mean. So on the left, notice that the dot is filled in. That means that it really starts at -1. So we're going to put a square bracket there. Hopefully you can see that. A square bracket because it actually touches -1. On the right, however, you see how it's an open dot, it's a hole. That means that this curve gets almost to 2, but stops just short. So we're going to put a round bracket there, and that tells us that it touches on the left, but doesn't touch on the right. There's a hole on the right. And there we go. Let's try this one. So the domain, it's going from square bracket on the left. Oh, actually, this one we don't put brackets. Notice how they've got this part here? That means that you don't need the brackets. You can just type it in. So on the left, it goes from -1, and on the right, it goes to 8. So it goes from -1 to 8 on the domain. Ooh, range. What do we mean by range? Well, range is your up and down boundaries. So how far up and down does this go? Well, it looks like on the lowest part, it's at 0. Now, here a lot of people struggle. A lot of people look at this and they say that the bottom part is at -1 because they kind of come down this and they go, oh, is it -1? And you can't go down and then go left. We're talking about on this axis, what's the lowest that it goes? Well, the lowest it goes is 0, not -1. -1's down here. It doesn't get down there. So it starts at 0 and it goes up to 3. So from on the left and right, it goes from -1 to 8, and on the up and down, it goes from 0 to 3. Let's try another one. Suppose you're holding your toy submarine underwater. You release it and it begins to ascend. Ascend means to go up to the surface. The graph models the depth of the submarine as a function of time. What is the domain and range of the function in the graph? So the domain, again, is our left to right boundaries. So our left and right boundaries. So on the left side, it goes to 0, and on the right side, it goes to 5. Now, the range is how low does it go to how high does it go. It starts off at -4, and it goes all the way up to the surface, which is at 0. Now, again, here students often make mistakes. They do like from -4 to 5. But those are on two different directions. The -4 is in the up and down direction, and the 5 is in the left and right direction. And you can't just switch those when you feel like it. All right, let's try the next one. So the domain here, and this on the left is going to be square bracket -3, and on the right is going to be 2, but with a round bracket because of the hole there. Range on the lower side is going to be square bracket -5. And on the upper side is going to be 4 square bracket because it actually touches right up there, right here. It actually touches at 4. Maybe it doesn't look like it, but it does. And domain and range of this guy. Let's do, so again, notice that there's videos, there's examples clicked here. So the domain here on the left side is -1, and on the right side is 1. Again, you don't need to put the brackets and parentheses if it's got this greater than or less than symbols in the middle. Then you don't need the parentheses things. Now the range, how low does it go? It goes down to -2 and it goes up to -1 on the height. Cool. Let's see if there's any other ones. This works the same way. I'm going to let you work on that one. Okay, good luck.